Good, how are you?
I'm doing great.
When you played against UConn, was there something that you saw that you remembered when you hit the portal and you said, hey, that's a place I'd like to go. I think that's a place I'd fit in. Was it that kind of process for you?
Honestly, it was like a great atmosphere. You know, me being from Connecticut, born and raised, coming back home, I've always been so far away from home. So being able to have my family come support me, it was a different kind of feeling. And knowing I could have that every home game, it definitely makes a difference.
What did you like about the culture? What have you liked about the culture since you've been here?
So I've been here. It's different, man. It's real work. Like, no complacency. Whenever you reach a goal, like, the coaches are always going to push you further to reach something else and reach your full potential.
Is that something that you hadn't experienced elsewhere?
I've experienced it, but just not at this level or at this demand.
What's the biggest adjustment been for you coming to another new school?
Honestly, just the work ethic here. You know, like, with UConn, we do things different here. Coach Moore came in, found a way to win, and we just got to outwork everyone.
What was it like building that initial relationship with the coaching staff, as you transitioned to UConn?
My first day on campus, it was like no other. It felt like home. People always say, like, family environments, but here you could walk up to any coach and joke with them, and it would be a great time.
How long were you in Connecticut before you went to high school?
I was in there until my sophomore year in high school, and I moved and did my last 2 years in South Carolina.
So you play at West Haven High?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you did for 2, okay.
Yes, sir. I played for Coach Bo.
Okay.
How would you describe your journey that's brought you here?
A lot of ups and downs, but things, they'll always look uncloudy before it can ever be clear. The rain's gonna pour, but it's gonna be sun one day. You just gotta enjoy the process and endure it.
When you come in as a transfer, you're a veteran player, you're an experienced player, but you're new to this school. So you have to try to, become a leader, even though you're new. How do you do that? Did you think about how you might need to kind of find your voice and do that, or do you just kind of let it happen naturally?
It happens naturally. When you come in, you work hard day in and day out. Your peers will see how you go about it, and they'll get behind you and they'll follow along.
What are your takeaways of the guys that you've joined in the linebacker room and on that side of the ball?
Honestly, all the guys, man, you'll be surprised. We got a lot of, like, sneaky players, like Umar. I love playing beside him. HP, Terry, got John. Got my man Ed. Like, we all hard workers. Coach Ricky does a great job with making sure we're all up to date and on the page.
You say sneaky players.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
If like from the eye test, you wouldn't think that they'll be what they are, but when you get on that field, I promise you they'll take your helmet off.
What will you add to this Connecticut team? What do you want to add to this team?
I just want to add grit and hunger and show them that no matter what, like, we're going to get it done.
Jackson Mitchell was here a couple of years ago, and he was always among the leading tacklers. You've always kind of been among the leading tacklers wherever you've been. What does it take for a linebacker to become that guy that is always in on a tackle? Is it an instinctive nose for the ball, or is it a certain toughness? What is it?
I think you honestly hit it right on the nose. You got to have a nose for the ball. Like, if you can't get that ball playing linebacker, you might as well go find a new position. That's kind of our job.
So you've always kind of been like that. That's always been.
Yes, sir.
Did anyone particularly coach that into you? Or
all my coaches since Pop Warner have had something to do with that. It's just been in my development, and I'm going to continue to keep getting better at that.
Did you have a favorite player growing up? Somebody you try to model after at all?
Honestly, my uncles were probably my favorite players. Just, always hearing the stories that they could teach me and I can learn from their experiences, and it always pushed me to go harder.
Where did they play?
They didn't make it very far in Dillon, South Carolina. They just played in high school, and they almost had a chance to go, but they got injured, so I always knew to, like, take care of my body and learn from that mistake from them.
What's it like playing with Donovan Branch?
Donnie's a great guy, man. Doesn't say too much, but when he says something, you'll listen. Like, he's a great leader. I love playing with him. I love being beside him. We always make sure we're good on the field. Like, if I need to move over a step or two, Donnie will be a guy to be like, hey, move over, and we'll do the same for each other.
Is he one of those guys that when you came in here, he kind of helped you get adjusted?
Yeah, he's definitely a great teammate, great locker room guy.
Awesome. All right, thanks.